Well, let's bring on a guy that I played against. Now we're going way back in the 70s. All-Pro, Hall of Famer, Lem Barney, cornerback from the Detroit Lions. How you doing, Lem?
What's going on?
Very good. And the gold record, yes. What's going on?
That's right. We were talking about that before we came on the air, and we're Marvin Gaye. You had a little background music with the master, huh?
Absolutely. When we got to Detroit, both Mel Farr and I in '67, Mel was
a fast guy, man.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I was Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I think we produced something that the league never had before we came in, and have not produced it since we left. Offensive and Defensive Rookies of the Year, same team, same year. But Motown was at its pinnacle during those years with Smokey Robinson, the Temptations, the Dales. I mean, it was just at the pinnacle, and we had the opportunity to, as you mentioned, sing background with Marvin on the What's Going On album, and just by chance got a gold record for it.
Did you get any money, any residuals?
Probably made more money. The record than he did playing football.
no residuals, but the gold record was price enough.
Oh, that's terrific, man. Lem, I tell you what, I remember you lining up against us, the Bears, and in fact, why is it that the Bears seem to always open up with the Detroit Lions every year? It seems like we got you again on the schedule.
I know.
At home.
I know it. I have no idea. I don't know if this was one of the hallmarks that Papa Bear wanted or what, but it's always been a misnomer why. But, I mean, again, it's always good because both teams get a chance to see what the Central Division second half is going to be like. The quad teams that play in the Central Division has always been smash mouth football, Vikings, Packers, Lions, and Bears, as you mentioned. So it's one of the toughest divisions in all of football.
Lem, what do you think of this Revis character getting like $50 million guaranteed? You had to be sitting there saying, I played 30 years too early.
I tell you what, it may have been 40 years too early. I make 65 today. But, I mean, those kind of numbers wasn't even on the calculator during the times we were playing, Robin. But that's where the game has excelled to. It's a higher-priced game, tickets, the entertainment at stadiums, and the owners getting more money from the league. And, I mean, I'm glad to see the guys are making this kind of money, and I have no regrets about not being in that era where I could have earned that same type of monies. But, the biggest thing about it, I just trust and pray that the guys will have good agents, good accountants that will be able to put that money aside, invest it in some good things, and learn to save your money, count your money,
put
invest
in your pocket.
Money.
It's the best place to keep it. You're not going to lose it.
Or your mattress.
Absolutely. My mom used to say.
Hey, Lem, did you play with Mike Lucci?
Yes, I did. I played with Mike as well. Mike Lucci, Al
Mike Lucci?
Dick LeBeau, Wayne
About that
Walker.
we got some Italians in the mix.
Hey, we do have a special guest in studio here, Lem. This is Billy Randazzo. He goes way back. He had one of the original hot dog joints.
Still there.
Still there in the
56
city.
years.
56 years. And Chicago-style dogs, man.
We got Polish, too, the best in the world.
That's right.
Absolutely. I remember it very well.
We got Charlie Trippy coming on a little bit later, so we had to bring somebody in studio that remembers him.
Billy's 75 years old. I don't remember Charlie Trippy.
Charlie Trippy was a cracker. An Atlanta cracker.
Yes.
Lem, it had to be easy playing the Bears back in the 70s. They had no wide receivers. It was just Peyton left, Peyton right, Peyton up the middle.
Well, that's all you needed during those years, man.
What's his Evans? When did he play? He almost killed all the ends. He'd throw that ball up in the air and he'd kill everybody.
Yeah.
Gordon, he would never. Gordon would catch everything on the ground. He was over. Forget it. He wouldn't catch nothing. He'd get killed.
Some fun games, though.
Hey, Lem, I see that you went to Jackson State University like Walter Payton.
Correct.
Right. There you go.
Walt by 4 years and played my last year with his brother, Eddie, who was a fine ball player.
He played with Detroit, too, didn't he?
What a character.
Yes, he did.
Was Eddie a better
kickoff guy?
Was Eddie a better player or talker?
Better talker, believe me.
You can't shut that guy up.
He plays a tremendous game of golf, particularly with his foot wedge.
Lem, I see that your number's retired by the Lions. Is it because of you, Billy Sims, or Barry Sanders?
Well, I really believe it was the fans that had put the pressure on the Lions. We had, as players, we have nothing to do with it, no voice at all. But after I'd wore it for 11 years and gained a little over 4,300 yards, punt, kickoff, and interception returns, Billy wore it second and just a little over 6,700 yards, and then Barry came in and gained the rest of the yard. Over 27,000 yards gained in that jersey. And they finally retired it 3 years ago now, at a Thanksgiving Day game.
That'd be a thrill for you.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had no idea that the jersey was going to be expressed as it was. Billy, tremendous from Oklahoma. And I believe in my heart, Robin and guest, if Billy would have stayed healthy, played at least 10 or 11 years, the trilogy of 20s would have all been in the Hall of Fame. So it's just two of us now, Barry and myself. But I believe in my heart that because of the skills Billy Sims had at Oklahoma, Heisman Trophy winner, he would have been a phenomenal Hall of Fame in the league.
Wow.
Did you play with Yale, Larry? Or he was before you, right?
Yeah, Yale was pre-me. Yale played on the last 57 championship team along with Joe Schmidt and Jimmy
I was in
Davis.
the Army with Joe Schmidt.
Okay.
And the other guy, Harlan Hill, you don't remember Harlan? He played with the Bears.
Yes, absolutely.
Harlan Hill, Florence, Alabama.
He's a wide receiver, wasn't he, or running back?
And my good friend Abe Witzer from Austin High School in Chicago.
Yes.
All
great.
pro. What a wonderful guy he was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lem Billy's about 94 years old.
106.
He remembers everything.
Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, he's still clocking.
I remember the All-American Conference. These guys were asking me about the players that they had there. They had George Ratterman. They had Otto Graham. They had Y.A. Tittle. They had Frankie Albert. Then they had the great Buddy Young. Everybody forgot about. He'd
Buddy
run
Young,
right over
yeah.
a tackle, 5'4". He was like a bowling ball. He'd step on the tackles and just keep on going. Later, he became a big executive with
NFL.
Wendell Phillips High School, south side of
Absolutely.
Chicago. Great guy, University of Illinois.
Absolutely. Let me
Now-
tell you about Billy, guys.
Okay.
Billy is still rocking, still bopping, and has no hopes of stopping.
Hey, I like that. I like
That's great.
Lem, what was your favorite part of playing in the NFL? Was there a moment that you really loved?
Well, I really enjoyed and loved and had a passion for the entire season, my entire 11 years. As you mentioned, 7 Pro Bowls and now in 7 Hall of Fames. And I really had a love, just a straight-out passion for the game, trained hard. Like, I don't think as many guys today get in shape during the off-season going into training camp as we did. I think guys today try to just fly themselves through the off-season and get into shape in the training camp. But it was always a drive for the players here in Detroit. We would start working out way before training camp started to go into training camp in shape and avoid a lot of injuries that you get in training camp. You can come back quicker. So I always enjoyed the working out during the off season. I still work out every day, and it was a joy. And after leaving the game after 11 years, I have no regrets about the play I was involved in. Was just a tremendously great life in the NFL. And don't miss it at all. Don't watch it that much anymore. Don't read about it. I have to talk about it because everybody relates to me as a former ball player. But it's still a great game. I think the game has evolved into a bigger, stronger, faster, quicker, and in some cases more intelligent game. You see guys today, when we played, Robin, if you had a 300-pounder, you put him in the middle of offense on defense, and he was like a big oaf. He just clogged up
Les
the middle.
Bingaman, that's one of the big guys from Detroit, right? That big fat slot plays center.
Absolutely. But today, seemingly, every team in the National Football League has at least 8 to 12 300-pounders
yeah.
that
You're
can
right.
run down wide receivers and running backs.
That's
today.
right.
Why there's so many injuries.
Yeah, absolutely, because when the immovable force meets the immovable object, something got to give, and normally it's a body part.
Lem, do you
Right.
think that an 18-game schedule will be too hard on the players nowadays?
Well, if you're gonna delete, I think the 20 that we have now, and we had during our years with the preseasons.
12 days.
If you play 2 preseasons and add the other 2 to regular season, it's going to come out the same way. I don't think they're going to take any of the games out of the schedule, either add some of the preseason to the regular season, but I don't think there's going to be any deletions of the game because of how long the game goes. The owners and the league is making more money.
Right. I believe it's going to go to an 18-game schedule. 2 preseasons are enough. I spent a couple years in USFL, Lem, and I enjoyed that, just 2 preseasons, get right into the action. Cut the training camp down a little bit, and it really gives the fans their money's worth too. Did you see some of the preseason games? The 4th game, particularly on a Thursday night.
couple of their starters for 5 minutes and then take them out.
No, most of the teams didn't even start their starters, and the fans are paying for full ticket price.
Those fans are the ones that never get to watch a game, so these guys just say, go to the game, will you? It's a practice game, so they give their tickets away to these guys that never see the game in their life.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Hey, Lem, obviously coming from Mississippi and up to Detroit, and you made Detroit your home. And, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. You're doing some ministry work and with the hospital and so forth?
Yes, I've been in the ministry, Robin, ordained about 20-some hours shy of my master's degree in divinity, emphasis on discipleship. And I'm associate pastor at my church in Southfield, Michigan, Hope United Methodist, and been involved in prison ministry, Robin, for 36 years. Started out with Chuck Colson, who was Nixon's administrative lawyer.
Went to jail?
Yes, who was incarcerated, and while incarcerated, he became born again. And after that, he wrote a book after he's released titled Born Again, and bestsellers list for a couple of years. And after that, he started Prison Fellowship Ministry that now has been branched out across the international waters. And warden officials, police officials all feel that the only thing that's reducing the rate of recidivism for both men and women who go into prison, if they join up with some Christian or some spiritual group while they're incarcerated, and once they're released, they connect with it when they get out, their chances of going back lessen. So it's a great ministry, and I've been a part of that for years, and I've enjoyed it.
Do you see a lot more people getting in trouble because of the economy, what's going on in Detroit with the auto industry?
Well, yeah, and I'm sure it's across the pan, across the country, as I'm meaning. There's a lot of economic crunches, not only here in Detroit, but because, as you mentioned, the big three, when I first came to Detroit in 1967, Robin and Guess, people who weren't working were going on vacations. That's how much money people had. But then after a little while, the European cars, the Asian cars started taking over a little bit from Chrysler, Ford, and General Motors, and as a result, it's in the shape it's in now. But I think we can bounce back. We're a strong country. America has always shown that they can bounce back, and just prayerfully, a lot of the crime that's being committed now will be able to be put to a great reduction over the country, because it's not only happening in Detroit, it's happening across the pond.
What's in worse shape, the auto industry or the Detroit Lions?
Well, right now, was that Brother Billy asking?
No, that's David Spada. He's an attorney, so he always asks those kind of quirky questions.
That's okay. I think it's at a parody. How's that?
There you go. Oh, touche.
But there's always room to improve. That's what I'm saying. There's always room to improve.
Well, Lem, I tell you what, you are a very, very well-spoken man, and my hat goes off to you and your accomplishments that you're able to do, and coming from a small town in Mississippi, and just what you're giving back to the community. Just I can just imagine there being in those where all those men are incarcerated.
He's a class act. That's what he is.
Man, I tell you what, and what those minds go through, and what their state of mind, what they're thinking, and particularly for the ones that've got to be in for 20 years or 20. Oh man,
yeah. And the thing about it, as Mom and Dad always told us, you make your decisions. You make your bed hard. You got to sleep on it. And just prayerfully, as I can see it today, the majority of parents are not training their children. I see most parents today wanting to be friends with their children, dress like them, party with them, and things of that nature. And so there's no training at all, because the parents are not really taking on the responsibility. The word says, train up a child in the way in which they should go, and once they're old or grown, they won't depart. But it's all in the training. And,
that's right.
The point being, I had as I've always tried to not boast on it, but I've always made the assertion, and I'll wait for people to hear what they say. I said, I came up under the greatest two people the Lord ever put on the planet, and I'll wait. And I'm waiting for oh, no, my mom was the best. My dad was, I don't know. Then if we all could make those arguments and that self-proclaim that we had the greatest parents on the world, on the earth, we'd have a much better world to live in.
Darn right we would.
Kids have too many rights nowadays, because all the time I'm in court and I hear kids with all the excuses, parents sticking up for them again. In the old days, the parents basically ruled with a stern hand. They spanked the kid, got him in line. But you touch a kid nowadays, the kid's
struck some fear into their hearts. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, Billy. Absolutely. And the thing about it is that during our time coming up, my time, you had to respect your parents so is that if you're sitting around in a family situation, my 3 sisters and myself, mom and dad, after school, we're talking about things, what's going to happen, what's upcoming, and one of my mom's and dad's friends would come over, we'd have to leave the room. We'd have to get out of the room, go somewhere else. We couldn't be around where grown folks was talking. And today, when kids are around family members and their friends, you know, they say, well, Johnny, you got to leave the room. I ain't going nowhere. You can't make me go nowhere. Okay.
That's
Black
right.
eye number one, not when you want broke neck.
Your rule is speak when you're spoken to.
Absolutely.
That's
right.
what they used to say to us.
Absolutely.
But look at the NFL nowadays. These players say we can do whatever we want, and the coaches have no control over these teams.
Yeah.
What about the 3 basketball players who were in collusion? 3 guys. What if that went on in the NFL? You know, with the coaches and the owners. You know.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Lem, we're up against the clock here. We really appreciate you coming on board today. Fantastic. And I was just going to say, there's, you know, the only harder job in the world besides being an all-pro Hall of Fame cornerback is being a mom and dad and being a good parent. There's no question.
Right.
Toughest job in the world.
You're absolutely right. Robin, thank you so very much. And to the guests, God bless you.
God bless you.
Peace and love during this upcoming NFL season, brother.
All right. Thanks, Lem.
Thanks,
We'll
Lem.
talk to you soon.